So we are lining up right now for heat race number 1. Hayden Cardwell sitting inside row 2. I do believe that means that we have an invert of 3. So we should see your fastest qualifiers in these heats start inside row 2, third place. But out front in this one, in the number 32, it is Tyler Chalk and the 72 of Brad Faria to his outside. Hayden Cardwell and Tyson Landis making up row number 2. Randy Hannigan and John Lowe in the 22 and 20 respectively. I keep saying Randy Hannigan because it says Randy Hannigan, but it is Mason competing.
That is Mason. That is his son.
Yeah, so that is Mason Hannigan in the 022. And Hunter Brady and Skylar Castor will be rounding out your field. We're waiting on Chance Crum here to see if he gets going.
And while we're waiting on Chance, good job to Mason Hannigan. He started off his real-life racing career this past weekend. Ended up with a win and a second. One over in Illinois, and then ran second at our old stomping ground, AJ, up at Miami County.
No kidding. That's
or as it's now known as Circus City Raceway, or Circus City Speedway.
You're joking me, right?
Okay. Nope, Circus City Speedway. They got a 10,000 to win show. The place looks totally different. Totally different. Great facility now. Track's been awesome. So scales are in the exact same spot they were at when we raced their age.
Dad, don't remind me. Bad memories at the scales up there. We won't talk about that. So we are rolling on the track now. Getting ready to go. MBG Shell in the chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words. These are interactive broadcasts, so if you're watching us on Twitch, please get involved. Talk with us. We will be talking to you all night long. We are also live on the DOB Facebook page. Appreciate everybody tuning in, no matter where you're tuning in from. We've got 10 laps on tap for the Wicked Energy Gum Midgets here tonight in DOB competition. Heat race number 1, Tyler Chalk and Brad Faria on the front row. Quick qualifier, Hayden Cardwell inside row number 2. Going to be looking to get out front quickly. Winner of this race is going to start pole in tonight's A main. We are green. Faria with a really good jump there. Sorry, that's Chalk in the 32. That allows Cardwell to make his way into second place, and he's on the high side, going to be looking for the lead off of turn 2. Cardwell had a good night last night, found a little trouble there at the end of the evening. He's going to take the lead coming out of turn 4, and behind them, they are 3 wide, battling for the transfer position. Watching John Lowe here trying to make his way through. Tyson Landis currently 3rd. Now in 4th, Landis. A little bit of a bump there. Seeing some action for this transfer position. That's Mason Hannigan on the outside. He's going to take 3rd spot away from Landis. So now it is Chance Crum and the 72 of Brad Faria fighting for the transfer spot here. We're only going to take 4 to the feature. Everybody else is going to have to go to the C and B mains.
And actually, that's what I was talking about. Tyson Landis hasn't put a wheel wrong this entire deal, and he's currently sitting out of a transfer spot. That's the most impressive thing about this series, is that you cannot make a mistake anywhere. If you do, you're going to be stuck in the B or the C.
Landis holding on right now, but you see that 183 with the slide job coming up the track. Landis going to try to come under him, coming off of turn 4 there, working the bottom of the race course. Still quite a bit of moisture in this track right now, but it was unable to hold him as the 183 of Crum takes over that transfer position, and the 72 of Faria looking to get around him. We are working lap 7 right now. Time is winding down. Out front, Hayden Cardwell with a big lead over the second place driver of Tyler Chalk. And then we are back to this transfer battle where Mason Hannigan and Chance Crum are the last 2 drivers that are in contention to qualify here for the A main. Faria, the man that's got to make the moves here. And now you see Crum working to the inside of Hannigan. He's going to try to get a little bit of insurance here. Hannigan's going to try the over-under. Looks like he's going to clear him down the backstretch, but that's, ooh. Wow, he squeezed in there a little bit, Billy. That made him get out of the throttle, which actually helped him from getting another slide job in turn 3.
Well, and Mason's doing exactly what he needs to do because he knows he's in the last chance. He's in the last transfer spot. He's in the final one, so Chance is really throwing everything that he can at him. Faria is going to basically it's going to take a slider, but doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No, this is it right there. Crum did everything that he could coming to the line to hold on to that 4th spot, and he will transfer.
No, they only take 3.
Only taking 3 tonight. Okay, well, there you go. So
see,
Crum,
that's what we're talking about. These guys,
out.
That's the thing about these midget races is when you're only taking 3 out of the heats, you can't make a mistake, and especially at Eldora, you've got to get the car gassed up and get it around the fence as quick as humanly possible. It's all about that momentum.
Yeah, and you can see the speed difference there, too, between the top 3 and that 4th, 5th, 6th battle that they had back there. So it was, you know, it's going to be really tough, man, for these guys to be able to hold on to one of those top 3 positions. Heat race number 2 gridding up right now. Your starting lineup for heat race number 2 in the 005, it is Braden Eiler. And the 300 to his outside, it is Kendall Tucker. Cole Harvey in the 085 and Anthony Lepresto in the 57 make up row number 2. Peyton Grease and Michael Klinkelfuss in row number 3. Benji Killian and Kyle Clements in row number 4. Man, some of these guys just got these names that just really. Klinkelfuss is one, man. Like I can butcher that so name, easily.
Yeah, but it rolls off the tongue so nicely.
So, 10 laps the distance. We're going to take 3 out of this heat race to the A main. The rest are going to have to go to the B and C. Don't think we're going to have a D main here tonight, but we'll see.
This front row is pretty interesting. You've got a guy that is not known for his non-wing prowess, and then you got Kendall Tucker on the outside of him. That's one of the more aggressive guys. He's always willing to put on a show and always willing to drive people hard. So this one should be pretty good out front, I think.
Well, we're going to see him take the green here off of turn number 4. Braden Eiler with control, and the green flag is out. Good jump for Eiler. Harvey with a good position to take second spot away from Tucker. Tucker's going to dive back under him coming off of turn 2. Peyton Grease right there fighting for 4th with Anthony Lepresto, and problems for Eiler. He is around, and the entire field is involved. Oh my goodness, let's take this back a little bit. You can see Eiler on coming out of turn 2 right there. He's going to get into 3, just hop the cushion just a little bit, turns him into Tucker, and the only car I think that didn't get any damage was Grease, and I'm not sure what yellow car that was, but man, that's one way to start a heat race, and that is going to be it for Braden Eiler. Terminal damage to that 005, and that is going to make for a long evening.
And old Peyton Grease just turned that him running the bottom paid off there a little bit. Got to stay out of all that because I think, like you said, he was the only one. I just went back and watched the replay again. That was the only one that didn't look like he got any damage out of that deal.
Hey, we talked about it last night. I'd rather be lucky than good any day of the week, and it worked out for him right there.
Absolutely correct.
All right, so let's reset here. We're going to go green next time by. This is lap 4 that they are working. Peyton Grease, Cole Harvey. Michael Klinkelfuss is in the 3rd position, the final transfer spot. Benji Killian and Kyle Clements going to be looking to make their way forward. And Kendall Tucker will be starting from the tail. So let's see what he can do. Lepresto is pretty quick too. So watch those 2 at the rear trying to make their way forward. I do think the 56 has some damage, so let's keep an eye on him in 3rd. 58, sorry. Here we go, green flag. Peyton with a good start. He's going to work the inside of the race course here. You see everybody fan out trying to find that desired line. Second place being held by Harvey right now. And Klinkelfuss has a good gap there. That is Lepresto running in fourth. We are under caution once again. I would be willing to bet if we back it up here. Yes, sir. Problems for Benji Killian, who got into... Wow! Into turn 3 hard, and that car hit the cushion and biked, went over without any wall contact or anything.
I've had that happen before on this build of the midgets. If you enter into the cushion wrong on corner entry, they will actually bicycle up, as it's called in the real world. They'll bicycle up and get yourself upside down, which is exactly what happened to him. The car just takes off and you're along for the ride.
Yeah, it just looked like the right front was buried in the cushion with the right rear, and that thing just took off. So
note to all you new people out there on dirt: always hit the cushion with the right rear, never with the right front.
That's the ideal way to do it anyway. It doesn't always work out that way, but so I do believe we're going to go green next time by. We're going to have 2 laps of green flag action to decide this. It is Lepresto and Kyle Clements who are on the outside looking in right now. Peyton Grease, Cole Harvey, and Michael Klinkelfuss in the transfer positions. We're only taking 3 to the A main, and those boys have those spots right now. So let's see what Lepresto can do. We are with Cole Harvey at the moment, looking to get a good jump here and maybe take a spot off of Grease. The winner of this race is going to be outside pole for the feature. Every position you can get gives you that much of a better chance in tonight's A main. 2 laps to go down the backstretch. Lepresto is working the inside of Harvey. He's got the transfer spot. Klinkelfuss is actually hitting the pits. I'm not sure if he had a meatball there, but that car...
I think he got a black flag because he went down to the inside before. I think he was past him before the start-finish line.
Here we're coming to the checkered flag. Peyton Grease off of turn number 4. Lepresto trying to work Harvey. Harvey's going to take second spot. And Anthony Lepresto, the final qualifier for tonight's A main out of heat race number 2. Well, we started off with a little bit of excitement. Hey, AJ, thanks for joining us, my friend. We will definitely try. MBG Shell says he pulled a Billy. So,
in my defense, last night in the 360s, if you guys are watching, I started on the front row and really jumped one, and I thought the guy was going, and he definitely did not. So that was on.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Seen you pull off there, and we said, yeah, fair play there. All right. Firing up heat race number 3 right now. Got these fancy new cameras tonight. Trying them out. Not sure how crazy I am about them, but then again, I don't have much talent, so I will defer to the people who know. We are slightly upgraded tonight from last night. We do have an on-screen ticker with current lap and race laps, as well as the sessions themselves. There's still a lot of things we want to add to it. It's just going to take some time. This is something that we are working on as we go along. We figured out that we were going to be doing this deal very late, but here we are doing it, and we're having a hell of a lot of fun, I got to say. Shane making fun of Billy as well there in the Twitch chat. So let's talk about heat race number 3. On the pole in the 311, it is Alex Smolders, and to his outside in the 98, James Tiernan. Colton Hardy in the 152 inside row number 2, and Jesse Bandy in the 402 to his outside. Shea Palo and Brandon Igo in row number 3, and rounding out your field, the man who was the recipient of an A main starting spot in last night's race number 2, Nicholas Cheever. That was one of those wild heat races where we saw a lot of guys find trouble. And we also saw James Tiernan come away with a win last night. He's starting outside pole right here, but he's got to do work with Alex Smolders, who's got control of heat race number 3. Coming off of turn 4, we are green for 10 laps. Top 3 will transfer to tonight's A main. Smolders with a really good jump. We're going to hop over here to Colton Hardy, who is in 3rd spot right now, but he has got Shea Paulo to his inside, trying to find a way around. Tiernan making the slide job up front, but Smolders is going to do the over-under and get that spot back. These guys might trade it back and forth for a handful of laps here. We're going to keep an eye on this. 98 of Tiernan with the slide job, but he's going to give his competitors some room. A little bit of fair play is always welcome. We are watching 4th place right now. Shea Paulo has it. 5th place, Jesse Bandy, and Brandon Igo also there in that battle, but the top 3 are pulling away, Billy.
Yeah, and it's just like I said, you gotta, especially in these midgets with a lower horsepower than a sprint car, you gotta get the momentum built up, and you gotta make your passes early when the track's still fast like this. So I can see James, and I can see the 2nd and 3rd place car run the top a little bit, try to get some momentum built up, and see if they might be able to pull a slider. But if they keep going what they're doing, then actually look like there's a yellow now.
Yeah, caution is out on the speedway. 402 of Jesse Bandy in the pits. Let's back it up here a little bit and see what happened right there on the bottom of the race course. He's going to hit the bottom once more. Yep. He's going to wish we didn't show that. But there you have it, inside retaining wall for Jesse Bandy, and he is out of this race. That's going to bunch everybody back up. Alex Smolders, James Tiernan, and Colton Hardy. Your top 3. That's going to give Shea Paulo another look at that transfer spot, Billy. Is the slider going to do it, or is the 152 of Hardy just a little too quick right now?
Hardy's quick. Hardy's extremely quick. Your best shot's going to be if you can't slide him going into 1. Basically, you should know that by the time you get to the flag stand. Run the top, then run it down the backstretch and try to throw the slide job going into 3. That's going to be your best shot. I don't know if he can do it, but it'll be interesting to see. I think Tiernan's going to try it, but you don't want to take yourself out of a transfer spot. That's the biggest thing. You don't want to make a mistake being overly aggressive in something like this.
We saw that a lot last night, where guys were trying to get those insurance positions to make sure they weren't going to be attacked from behind, and that aggressive maneuver took them out of the desired lane and actually hurt them in the long run. Indy Boy said that was his first ever heat win in DOB, so congratulations to him.
First top 5 last night in the 2nd race. First heat race win tonight. Good job, Peyton.
Not too bad, not too bad. Well, we are going green here for 2 laps to see how heat race number 3 is going to finish. Alex Smolders with control, and he is on the gas. Green flag is out. Rough start for Hardy there. He's
That's
under fire.
Needed.
Oh, inside retaining wall there. He's able to gather it up. But look at Hardy pulling him down the backstretch. That high line, this is Eldora in iRacing. The high line is where it's at if you can make it stick.
And it's where it should be. Even in real life, if you're listening, Tony. Make the top at Eldora great again.
Colton Hardy trying to find his way around James Tiernan. Tiernan's the only guy working the bottom, but this is it. Checkered flag is out. Top 3 advancing. Alex Smolders, James Tiernan, and Colton Hardy making their way to tonight's A main. Heat race number 4 getting ready to hit the track. Last night we had 2 360 races. Tonight, with both the midgets and the non-wing 360s, it's going to bring an interesting dynamic to it. You're going to see a lot of different types of racing action and a lot of different talents. I can tell you, we talked about a guy like Edens last night who's quick in any dirt cars, but I was introduced to him through the non-wing sprint cars, and man, that guy, when he's on his game in a non-wing sprint car, you're just about racing for second. Last season, Last season it was Eden's taking the Midget championship, but it was David Heileman who had the most wins in the non-wing 360. So it's going to be interesting to get to see that unfold here tonight. Heat race number 4 starting lineup. On the pole in the 055, it is David Flick, and to his outside, the 38 of Brett Strickler. There he is, defending champion James Eden's inside row number 2, and to his outside in the 93, it's Chris Roberts. J.D. Brown and Cole Newhofen make up row number 3, and rounding out your field in the 032, it is Derek Layton and the 77 of Aaron Schaefer. 10 laps the distance. We're taking 3 to the main event. Your quick qualifier on this one is James Eden's. They invert 3, and they will take 3. So we'll see if he can make his way forward. David Flick giving him green here. Really rough start for Strickler there on the outside. See Eden sliding up the track. Is he going to be able to clear him? Not quite. Strickler still working the top. He's going to find a little bit of the wall there. That's going to cost him a lot. He's going to last. Big problems. Oh, and now problems for Eden's. Not a full spin, which is really not what he wanted to see. You almost want to see him crash in there to get that yellow, because now he's got such a gap to make up.
Oh, and then bad luck. Bad luck, and still no yellow.
3 wide for the race lead here coming out of turn 2. We are still green. Watching J.D. Brown on the inside. It is Cole Newhofen who has the lead of this race on the outside. David Flick trying to work the inside, going to pull up into the middle of the racetrack. He got a good bite there, able to hold close to Newhofen. Now with the slider, Newhofen's going to try the over-under, making it stick. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Both of those drivers able to hold on to it. You can see Flick going back to the bottom, trying to get that run off of turn 2. J.D. Brown just waiting for these guys to run over top of each other so he can take a heat race win here. Halfway through this race, we're seeing that.
And look at the momentum that he's building up by running the top while these guys are sliding each other. Whenever you're sliding everybody, you're slowing yourself and the guy that you're sliding down, and it's giving the guy behind you the chance to get back through the field. So J.D. Brown's just up there rolling the top and doing exactly what he needs to do.
Oh, problems! Lap car! Oh my goodness!
Oh no! Are you as speechless on that as I am?
It makes me sick. It makes me sick. And that's... who is that? Is that Derek Layton in the 32 who was prone on the racetrack? And I know he's sick about it too. You never want to get in the way as a lap car. And he found trouble off of turn 2. And the top 3 in this race all slammed into him. Wow, just really, really unfortunate turn of events there in the middle of this race. We're going to have to try and reset here. It is David Flick in the race lead. Second place, J.D. Brown. He's got heavy damage to the front of that car.
He's got to have a black flag or a meatball flag.
It's tracking sideways. So will he be disqualified if he finishes this race in second spot? Does he have to?
If you have a meatball flag, you have to come down pit road, and if you don't, generally speaking, you're disqualified from the entire event. It's kind of a gamble to take.
You can see that car tracking sideways. There's no way that thing is not damaged too far to repair. It is Chris Roberts in third, who will be making that final transfer spot as long as the second place car of Brown is not disqualified. If he is, the 77 of Aaron Schaefer in fourth will move up one position here as they cross the start-finish line, and we might have to wait until the feature to really tell what happens. But we are going to end this race under caution. David Flick will bring it home. Bearded Fed, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a lap car. Well, there wasn't no dodging that wrench, that's for sure.
It still scored JD as second. I don't know if that'll work out or not. But
I'm not sure how
unfortunately,
that works. If any of you know out there in Facebook or Twitch land, let us know in the chat exactly how that works. I know Indy Boy points out you can run green flag laps and 3 green flag laps, and that's true. But when the race is completed, I know there's a disqualification procedure in there. Braden, we will be uploading these races to YouTube once we get the YouTube channel sorted out. I know the Wicked Cushion Esports page wants a piece of it, as well as the DOB's looking to make their own YouTube page as well. So you'll see these races uploaded to YouTube afterwards. Which actually, if the DOB makes their own page, we could probably stream to it at the same time as well. So we'll feel that. So Peyton's saying keep your position. So if that's the case, he
did finish second on the board that I'm watching. So it does seem like that would be the case. So he may have lucked out. Sometimes better to be lucky than good.
Well, that's true. Dustin Griffiths in the 82, starting on the pole of the final heat race here tonight, heat race number 5. John Lepresto in the 71 to his outside. Rusty Kruger and Jeffrey Stewart make up row number 2. Anthony Marvugolo and Jordan Hack in row number 3. And Don Hunter and Blake Cannon rounding out your field. Marvugilio. That's one of them right there. There's no doubt about that.
I think you butchered it twice in the same sentence.
Rimride Nyler talking about that he's got to go from the C main here tonight. We saw that wild turn of events there in the heat race. Said that's why he keeps the wings on it, yeah. So we're going to go green.
That's absolutely right.
Right here, coming off of turn number 4, 10 laps the distance. Top 3 will move on to the feature. Look at the field, really had to check up there on the start. Dustin Griffith's going to take it to the high side. John Lepresto looking like he is we've got contact there. See if I can pick up Marvugolo. No, yeah, caution is out. Caution is out. Let's get a look back at what actually happened here. You can see these guys 3 wide coming through 1 and 2. He's going to come off the bottom there, off the corner, and make contact with Jeffrey Stewart, which pushes him into another car and sending him around. Doesn't look like he sustained much damage there.
Nah, he should be able to. Might have knocked the toe out of it a little bit, which that is one thing on this sim that is fairly realistic. If you start banging wheels, it will knock the front end out of it a little bit to make the car drive a little bit.
I believe that was Rusty Kruger that he made contact with that actually turned him around. For whatever reason, it is one car that plays ping pong down the backstretch here, and Volusia's also very rough about it. If 2 cars come together coming off of the corner, it seems like one of them can continue on straight and the other one's going to go spinning and flying wherever. So it's something that you really got to watch when you're coming off those corners, especially when you're 3 wide like those boys were. So we're going to go green next time by Dustin Griffiths. Out front, John Lepresto, Rusty Kruger in your top 3 positions right now. Don Hunter is the man in 4th, looking to make his way into this feature. Jeffrey Stewart still right there in 5th. See what Griffiths can do here on the restart. All the way at the top of the track. See if he cuts down to try and get a little momentum with the banking. Green flag is out. Great start for Griffiths. We're going to go a little farther back in the field. Stewart making the pass on Hunter. Kruger to the high side. He's actually looking on Lepresto there for second. Stewart holding firm there, but it's the 44 car of Blake Cannon who's making the charge right now. On the outside, Lepresto diving to the bottom. Cannon has his momentum up. Now going to look at a slide job here on Kruger, who was a little bit out of sorts. Stewart throwing it in there as well. Wow, Cannon nearly made contact with the 71 of Lepresto. He had such a good run through 3 and 4 there. I don't think he expected that slide job to do quite so well, Billy.
No, it didn't. I didn't expect it to do that well.
So it is Blake Cannon in the final transfer spot right now. 3 laps left in this race. But he wants more. Looking on Lepresto right now. Big slider down into turn number 3. Cannon able to stick it. Lepresto trying to fight back, but unable to do so far. Rusty Kruger looking at those guys, hoping to see a mistake so that he can find his way into the A main here tonight. Looking at the white flag out front, Dustin Griffiths ready to put this race away, but Blake Cannon, who started last in this race, is not done with them yet. We got a slide job in turn number 3 for the race win. Griffiths is trying everything he can to get back to him, but not gonna happen. Blake Cannon from last is gonna take the win in heat race number 5. Dustin Griffiths in second and John Lepresto in third, transferring to the A main.
It is D main time.
We do have a D main here tonight.
And this is why I said that heat races were so important. Braden Eiler was in first, and because of that mishap, he is now on the pole of the D main where they take the top 2.
Top 2 will advance here. It's just so complicated. I mean, you're talking about how tough these leagues are in the first place. That everybody in this league is pro level. We've got some pro dirt guys from the sprint car side of things. We've got guys with iRating that is just flat out of this world. And it's so hard. And what's funny that you can see, I mean, look at here. James Edens is in this race. Your defending champion. Braden Eiler is a champion of DOB. I mean, you've got some fast cars here that you have to beat so that you can go on to the next race to beat them, so you can go on to the next race to beat them, so you can go on to the A main. It's asking a lot. So,
well, and it's not like we haven't seen it before, but it is very, very hard, especially on the half miles. These are so much momentum racetracks. It's hard to pass a lot of cars in a short amount of time with only 10 laps.
And one mistake can really cost you. Starting lineup is a little jumbled here because we had 3 guys not make the call. James Eden's one of them. He is done. Jesse Bandy as well, who would have started this race outside pole. Braden Eiler on pole. Don Hunter to his outside. Derek Layton to the inside of row number 2. That is Jordan Hack. That's going to move up from 8th to 4th place starting spot. Skylar Castor and John Lowe rounding out your field. We are riding with Braden and going green this time by 10 laps the distance. 2 drivers will advance. We'll see if Braden can get out front and hold on to it. Great start for Eiler, the 032 as well. That entire inside lane hopped past Don Hunter there. It is Derek Layton running in second place. Oh, and then problems there for Hunter. He is upside down in turn number 3. We're going to see if we stay green here, so let's keep up with the race leaders. Sure, he hit the escape button, and we are green. 4 cars left in this race. It is John Lowe right now in second place, who is fighting it out with Derek Layton. Layton, after the problems in the heat race, looking to redeem himself right here. But he's got to get around the 20 of Lowe to do it. Only 2 cars advancing. Still a lot of time left in this race. Lowe a little bit out of sorts. Going to have to make that over-under work. Go on the in-car here and see what these guys see as they battle it out.
See, and this is going back to what I was saying. When you start sliding guys back and forth, you just start losing spot or losing time to the guys in front of you. So if you can throw the slider and you can pass a guy and clear him, and then go back to the line that you were running, that's the best case scenario. That way you can start tracking down the next guy.
Contact there between Lowe and Layton. Lowe's trying everything he can. We were in the cockpit view there with Lowe, and you heard it's still mainly wide open around this place, but Lowe was actually hitting the rev limiter going into some of the corners as well, so you're starting to see it dry off a little bit. Not sure if he's got the exact gear in it that he wants for this race, but he needs a little bit more, and he is running out of time to accomplish it. Derek Layton in second with that transfer spot. Lowe doing everything he can here. Got a good run off of 4. Going to try to close that gap. 2 laps to go. Lowe in that Wicked Energy Gum car, trying to make something work and keep his chances alive. White flag is out. Braden Eiler out front. As long as he doesn't have some kind of a problem, he's going to take home the victory. And these two right here are going to do battle. Lowe with a big slide to the inside. Not going to be able to hold it. Derek Layton will move on into the C main. A little bit of fun after the race. Probably not fun for Mr. Lowe. He wanted to go ahead on into the next race, but not going to happen here tonight.
And the top 2 out of the D main now get the astute pleasure of starting 9th and 10th in the C, which also takes 2 out of 12 laps.
It gets harder and harder as you continue the climb through the alphabet soup. Billy, we were looking at basically wide open laps here with the midgets, which is somewhat unique, maybe not with the midgets, but somewhat unique in DOB competition. These tracks do not reset throughout the evening. They're not going to water the track or reset it to 20% or anything like that. So every lap that's run on the track wears it out, and these tracks will dry out, and these drivers will have to do battle making adjustments to their cars to suit the track conditions, as well as keeping that throttle foot very nimble to keep the throttle control that you need to get every bit of forward bite you possibly can. When we get to the 360 sprints, we're not quite going to see that wide open mentality, are we, Billy?
You'll see it in hot laps and qualifying, probably the first couple of heat races, but then after that it really becomes when the cushion gets up there on the wall, it's almost a tap dance with your feet, trying to keep the car underneath of you with the gas and the brake to keep the car rotated, and also to keep it up on the cushion in the moisture. The key is to keep the car in the moisture. So the dark dirt, when you hit that slick, that shiny slick, it's like running through ice. And every time you do that, you're just killing speed and killing time. So the more you can keep the car on the cushion or in the moisture, the faster you're going to be.
C-Main coming at you, 12 laps the distance. We're taking 2. Strickler, Stewart, Landis, Killian, Igo, Newhoff, and Marvugalo. Brady, Eiler, and Layton, your lineup. Strickler and Stewart going to lead them down. Great start for Strickler there. He's bringing Landis with him into second place. And the Red Bull 67 of Igo on the bottom, trying to find some positions as well. He's going to slide up in front of Jeffrey Stewart, who's trying to fight back. Landis a little bit out of sorts off the cushion there. He's going to come down the racetrack in front of the 72. And we are caution on the speedway.
Believe the 2 C or D main transfers got into it on the backstretch there.
Yeah, it looked like contact between Layton and is that Hunter Brady? And Braden Eiler came into that contact with nowhere to go, sending those 2 cars upside down and out of this race. So 8 cars left vying for 2 spots. You know, in the DOB features, Billy, we do not count caution flag laps, but they do count in the heat races and the consolation races. So this is a complicated thing for those drivers on the outside looking in.
Yeah, if you're stuck back in these, sometimes you need a yellow, sometimes you don't. last night in the first 360 race, it benefited me having a yellow every once in a while. But when you run into those constant yellows, if you're sitting back, fifth or sixth, and they're only taking two, you really don't want to see those yellows unless you're cleared of a guy. And you're cleared of a guy. That way you can kind of bunch the field back up, maybe get your runs, adjust the shocks a little bit, and make those adjustments that you need. But as long as you don't have a caution filled race, it's usually not too bad. Hopefully they can run this one out green the rest of the way with 7 or 8 to go.
Strickler, Landis, Stewart, your top three. We're going green this time. Strickler's going to bring them down. Good start there. Landis, not quite what he wanted. That brings Stewart into the picture in the 72. I believe that's Igo in the 67 on the high side trying to make his way forward. No, it's not. Igo's on the inside. It's the 008 of Cole Newhoffen. Nearly getting caught up on the bumper of the 72 there. You saw those cars shadowing each other. This is the race for third spot, but they can fight it out for third. That's still not going to transfer them into the B main here tonight.
It looks like Newhoffen's got milk on the side of that thing, and he definitely had a big old glass of it before this. I think he might have a couple of. He need that calcium to get up on the wheel like this, but he's running the perfect line for the way the track is now. He's keeping the car in the moisture, keeping his momentum up, and look at what he's doing. He's tracking down the leaders right now.
Yeah, I do believe that gap is closing.
Marveligo just absolutely annihilated the infield wall.
Well, we had two separate incidents there. And actually, I don't think those guys are done quite yet. Let's see what happens here. Billy called out that Marveligo hit the inside wall, but also big contact there. That is the 67 of Igo making contact with Jeffrey Stewart. I don't think you got too much afters there. That might have been more of an accident, but definitely a message sent to say, hey, man, I did not appreciate that. So, we're running out of green flag laps here, but that does allow the third place car of Newhoffen to close in on those race leaders. We're going to see if he can make a move here.
And we might get a green and a white at the same time. I couldn't tell what lap we were on when that yellow came out, so I don't know if we're going to go back green or not. I hope we do, just to see if see this battle for the transfer spot.
I do believe we're going to go green this time, which should give us 2 laps of green flag here. Nope, the light's still on the pace truck, so we're only going to get 1 green flag lap. That's going to make it hard here. Means you've got to have a really good start.
You got to have a great start, and like I said, if you can't make the slider going into 1 and can't make it stick, you just pretty much have to go to the top, build your momentum, and get a good head of steam to throw that slider. You can see Newhoffen kind of not necessarily lagging back, but trying to make sure he times his restart correctly so he can get a good enough run into 1 to try to get into the transfer.
Landis didn't have a great start the last time, so we'll see what he can come up with here. Another rough start for Landis. That gives Newhoffen the opportunity he needs. He's going to go to the top. Landis going to slide in front of him. Contact between those two. Now look for the slider here. Newhoffen to the inside for the final transfer spot. He slides up the race course. Here comes Landis off of 4. Oh, wow. See if it updates. Cole Newhoffen is the man that crosses the line in second. And he will advance to the B main while Tyson Landis, odd man out, is done for the night.
By 1/100th of a second.
So
that's
close.
The difference. So close. Heck of a good finish, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the C main. That kind of racing is what we're seeing just to earn the opportunity to race in the B main, so that you have a chance to make it in to the main feature. We said this is the toughest league in DOB to win, and it is very hard to even make one of these shows as well.
Well, and now once you get into the B though, you're in pretty decent shape because you got 14 laps, 10 cars, and they take 5 to the A. So in the midgets, and that's the other thing, in the midgets and the non-wing sprint cars, they run 20 car features, where in the wings we're used to seeing 24. So there's 4 more guys that are sitting out that normally wouldn't be. So in this case, you've got 10 cars going for 5 spots. So the battle for that 4th through 6th spot's going to be pretty intense come lap 12 or 13.
So we are rolling here in the B main. 14 laps the distance. We're taking 5 to the A. Not sure what's going on with Kyle Clements here. He's getting things sorted out. I don't think he's taking an end of line, is he?
I believe he did.
That's a little strange for a guy sitting on the outside pole. It's going to change things up for us. Chance Crum on the pole. And to his outside now will be the 77 of Aaron Schaefer. Shea Paulo inside row number 2, and Brad Faria to the outside. Rusty Kruger and Michael Klinkelfuss. Nicholas Cheever, Brett Strickler, Cole Newhoffen, and Kyle Clements rounding out your field. This is a race right here, Billy, where we might be able to see some guys get very aggressive, making some serious moves to try and make sure they're in that top 5. 5 are going on, 5 are going home. We're going green this time by. Chance Crum. Good start there. He's going to make a pretty good gap there on second place. Problems at the back of the field. That is Nicholas Cheever, who found the wall, and he's going to get out of this race, so we stay green. Shea Paulo to the inside. There's Newhoffen, who's already made his way into the transfer spots. Rusty Kruger working the slide job there. Newhoffen comes up, makes contact. That's the 77 of Schaefer, who is out of sorts. Sideways in turn 4. We have stayed green. I think he has got that thing straight. See if we can go back and take a look at this. You see Kruger come up the track, the 77 get out of shape on the cushion, which pushes him in front of Newhoffen, who did not want to make contact but had nowhere to go. Kruger now battling it out with Klinkelfuss there in the yellow 58. That brings him back into the reaches of Newhoffen, who's going to try the bottom there off of turn number 4. Meanwhile, as these guys battle it out, Billy, Chance Crum is walking away.
Yeah, he's up there. Like I said, you get back there and you start sliding, guys. You slow down, and if he can get up there and keep his momentum up around the cushion, and even in real life, you see this a lot at Eldora. You see a guy with a really, really fast race car, but if you can't clear traffic in order to get up on the cushion and to get up there and drive as fast as you can, it's really hard to make up any ground.
You saw there problems for the yellow 58 of Klinkelfuss. He was in the inside retaining wall, and he lost that final transfer spot. It is now Brett Strickler with a pretty good gap on Klinkelfuss there as well. So heartbreak there for the 58 as this race reaches its midway point. Things have settled down out front. Rusty Kruger has gained control of the second spot, starting to reel in your race leader Crum. Third place belongs to Newhoffen. Fourth down on the bottom there, Shea Paulo. You see these guys searching for any scrum of moisture that they can find, any little bit, to give them an advantage and ensure that they make their way into the best starting position they can get for this A main.
And I must say, with this current build, these tracks they're still getting slick, but they're getting more, I would call it technical slick, where it's a lot about car placement now, where before this thing would be black slick from bottom to top, and the track is actually holding up extremely well now.
Yeah, you can see the lines developing where the cars are using them the most, but there's still moisture to be found if you can go around into the right spots. This race is winding down. The battle we're watching is for the final transfer spot. 5th place Brett Strickler has it, and Michael Klinkelfuss wants it, and he is closing that gap. He's going to have a shot here to make his way into tonight's A main. 2 laps to go. Klinkelfuss has to come up with something. He is closing the gap, and another car there, that's Paolo, who's backing up as well. These guys are closing in on him. White flag out this time, out front, Chance Crum making it look easy. But the transfer battle is a little more interesting. Klinkelfuss trying to do everything he can, but doesn't look like he's going to have enough. That big slider is going to fall just short. Your race winner, Chance Crum. 2nd place, Rusty Kruger. Cole Newhoffen in 3rd. 4th place belongs to Shea Paulo. And in 5th place, Brett Strickler will earn the final starting spot in tonight's A main. So we're going into the warm-up here, Billy. 2 minutes for these drivers to make their final adjustments.
Always a fun time as soon as the green comes out in the warm-up in the DOB, because it just turns into an absolute haymaker fest to get out on the racetrack to try to get some clear track to test what your car's doing on fuel. Because in real life, fuel does matter as far as speed goes, but on this sim, it is extremely crucial to have your fuel number exactly right, as we saw last night with the fuel mileage race. You've got to make sure that your car has just enough fuel to make the show or make the race. That's going to be your peak optimal quickness around this place, and your car handles totally different on full fuel than it does on a light fuel that you run in a heat race.
Yeah, that weight means a whole lot, and I'm not sure how it values in the sim, but you're looking about 7 pounds per gallon when you're talking about the methanol that these cars run on, alcohol, racing alcohol, that sort of thing. So it does make a huge difference. You are riding with the 019 of Hayden Cardwell, who is quick time right now, and you saw how close he was to the wall on that cushion. That's where the fast line is, but it can also bite you like it did right there. These warm-ups, these guys, you see a lot of crashes in warm-ups, but that's because guys are just testing the limits to see what they can do, see what this track has left, and then they'll exit out and make a few adjustments and get ready for the feature itself. We talked about fuel there, Billy. We saw the problem that fuel can cause. The DOB had its first green to checkered race last night, and those guys were not expecting it, and they ran out of fuel because of it.
Well, and like I said too, I think you know, when you look at the fuel numbers, running the bottom to running the top is a vastly different amount of fuel per lap that you're going to use, that you're going to burn, just of how much you're on the throttle. And I think that it caught a lot of guys out of the top was so fast last night that you could use way more throttle than you normally could, and I think that's where the fuel numbers were coming off at.
Eiler talking about how Crum drives these cars in real life, so it was no surprise that he was out front pulling away in the B main. Got a lot of work to do now that he's going to start 16th spot in the A. Jeffrey Stewart crying foul in the Facebook chat. He's wondering about that contact in his race. Tyson Landis talking about how close he was to getting in. If you guys are out there watching in Twitch land, we appreciate it. We are live on twitch.tv/elbowsuptv as well as the DOB Facebook page. As you can tell, we've got the drivers, the competitors of these leagues in the chats with us, so you get a chance to chat with them and have fun with us. But we are rolling now for tonight's A main. 35 laps. Caution flag laps won't count. So we're going to keep an eye if these laps come, these caution flag laps come, which will change a little bit of everything for us.
Yeah, and if you're new and you see that lap counter up that says 200, this is only a 35 lap race. So 35 laps, gonna go green next time by, it sounds like.
Hayden Cardwell, Peyton Grease, Alex Smolders, David Flick, Blake Cannon, Tyler Chalk, Cole Harvey, James Tiernan, J.D. Brown, Dustin Griffiths, Mason Hannigan, Anthony Lepresto, Colton Hardy, Chris Roberts, John Lepresto, Chance Crum, Rusty Kruger, Cole Newhoffen, Shea Paolo, and Brett Strickler. Your starting lineup. Cardwell on the inside of the front row, Peyton Grease in his best starting spot here in DOB competition. On the outside, we're going green for 35 laps right here, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Cardwell looking good out front. Alex Smolders on the bottom trying to get around the 292, and behind them, everybody fanning out. Big time war for positions. You see James Tiernan there working to the outside. Oh, contact there. That is going to be a caution. Caution flag is out. We are looking right now. That is David Flick where that crash initiated here. We're going to watch these guys come off of turn 4 here. You can see they're 4 wide right there. Just running out of room. Contact pushes him up across the track. And many, many cars making contact with him. James Tiernan looks to be the one that had the most unfortunate position there. Flick is in the pits. Tiernan as well. Those boys look to be out of this race. Brings us down to 18 cars. Might have got 2 laps in there. When the caution comes out, that green flag lap does count. So we should have 33 left in this race when we restart.
Yeah, white flag lap will be 38. And that's one thing that I do love about these leagues is that we do actually run 35 green flag laps. So it allows everybody to actually get a full race in, and much better to watch.
Yeah, we like it is in real life. Caution flag laps don't count in short track racing. We don't need it here in iRacing, and the DOB makes it happen for us. But we are going to go green here. Hayden Cardwell leading them down. Another good start for the 019. He's on the high side. You can see behind them, 4 wide there through the middle of the field. Chris Roberts up there fighting in that battle. Mason Hannigan as well. The 152 trying to find his way forward. That's Colton Hardy running 10th right now. You can see those guys really fighting it out. Hannigan to the bottom of the track, going to slide up. Ooh, contact with Dustin Griffiths there. Both of those guys able to hold on. But that was a pretty good shot there. Billy, you'd think there'd be more room there as Dustin Griffiths gets spun out on the front straightaway. He's trying to get it turned around using the reverse gear, but caution flag is going to come out. Dangerous situation there. So we're going to back it up, look at this battle. We saw the contact that he had coming off of turn 4. Looks like he's going to get a little bit of help from Mason Hannigan and find his way around. So back to 18th spot goes Dustin Griffiths. Billy, for the smallest car that we participate with on a half-mile track, you would think there'd be more room for these drivers, but it just doesn't seem to work out that way, does it?
No, well, in an alternate universe, it actually makes a lot of sense because you know you're in a smaller car, you think you can fit it in a much smaller hole. And what happens is these cars can get so racy to where you can actually set a car up. It's about to that point where you could get a car to roll the bottom now and keep it in the moisture because the top's starting to get slicker. Um, so you're going to see you see guys move around more, 3, 4 wide, sometimes even 5 wide. And when one person makes a mistake, it just kind of compounds itself, and you have incidents like that.
White flag lap 38 now, so 38 will be when the white flag is thrown. Got some guys in the chat rooting for their sim teams. Kinzer's sim team getting some love. Team SETI out there as well. We are going to restart with Hayden Cardwell out front. Alex Smolders in second. Going to try and get a good start here. See if he can make a charge at the race lead. We are green. Try to watch these cars through the center of the field as well. But that's a pretty good start there for Smolders. He's been able to hold firm close to Cardwell. That slider line looks to be working right now, Billy.
Yeah, because it's still got a bunch of moisture through the middle. The top is, you have to be completely on the top or completely on the bottom. Peyton Grease came off a 2 and he came off in the slick, and that just kills your forward drive. So you got to keep the car in the moisture, keep it as straight as humanly possible.
Colton Hardy in the 152 is the guy making moves right now. He is up to 8th spot in this race. You can see very aggressive up there on the cushion, trying to make a run here on his Swindell Speed Lab teammate in the 44. That's Blake Cannon. We saw him have an excellent charge through the field to earn his way into tonight's A main. Peyton Grease holding on to the 4th spot there after starting second. That high line working for the top 2. Everybody else is trying to find some moisture so that they can start closing that gap and making their way forward.
And you can start to tell the top has got a yellow.
Caution flag is out. Heard the contact there. See Newellhoffen limping away. Let's see if we can back up here.
Well, AJ is pulling that up. You can start to see the track starting to change a lot now. So now with the amount of cars that's out there, you can see the track start changing. Guys are going to have to start searching in order to make it work, in order to make their cars work now. Turn 3 is completely slick from about 2/3 of the way of the racetrack. So guys are going to start changing lines, and it wouldn't shock me if we see somebody come from fairly deep in this to make a charge late.
Shea Paulo was the man bringing out the caution there.
And it looks like our white flag lap is 44 when we go back green.
Gonna have one more caution flag lap here. Light's still on the pace truck. Hayden Cardwell still out front. Alex Smolders in second. Cole Harvey is third. Peyton Grease fourth. And the 14 car of J.D. Brown right now rounds out your top 5. DOB Wicked Energy Gun Midget Series bringing us plenty of action. Race is going to be winding down here, but we're not done tonight. We've got 35 more laps of wingless sprint cars coming right after this. DOB action will continue here on Wednesday night. But we're getting back green right here. Hayden Cardwell leading them down off of turn number 4. Great start for Cardwell there. Smolders digging through the middle, trying to make that gap up. Contact between Grease and the 14 there. And Peyton into the wall. He's going to lose a few spots there. It's so easy for these cars to find the wall, and then it's so easy for these cars to go flying after any sort of contact with the wall, Billy.
Well, and your car changes so much due to that weight start getting burned off. So the more fuel you burn off, the more the car changes. So the guys that are extremely fast early on might not be fast come later. So it's just all basically who can guess right. That's the fun part of dirt.
Caution flag is out again for Dustin Griffiths, who spun on the front stretch. Dustin not having a very good feature here. He did pretty well to get in it, but a lot of bad luck biting him right here. So we're going to slow him down once more. Get word here from race control that our caution.
Lap 47.
Yeah.
Hold.
White flag lap. Lap 47 now.
I must say, it's a lot different perspective watching these races happen when I never was in them in the first place. a lot of times if missed the show, we'll watch the broadcast, but it's a totally different perspective to see how much that track actually changes from session to session, and in this case from lap to lap. Turn 1's the same as turn 3. There's a grip strip right through the middle, cushion on the top, and if you're going to roll the bottom, you got to be extreme bottom and be careful of that inside wall.
Looks like we're going to go green this time. Going to have 20 laps left in this race. On board with your race leader, Cardwell. Going to get on the gas and start this race. You can see him wait till the last minute to make his move, not giving anybody any idea on when they can start to try and jump the start. A little farther back in the field here, riding with the 32 of Tyler Chalk, running 5th, and you can see behind him just a battle. Many drivers fanning out. These midgets on those half miles, if you could find a special line, there's plenty of room to do it. Peyton Grease making contact with Lepresto, and now we've got multiple cars upside down. Caution flag is out once more. Take a look here in the instant replay with Lepresto, who's going to find the 292 car. 3 wide going in the corner, and Lepresto was the sandwich. Is that Blake Cannon there? No, that's not Cannon. That would be Colton Hardy, who is the recipient of the Newhofen flip. Looks like Newhofen was able to get that car on 4 wheels. Not sure if it is hurt. Go back to live action. Yep, Newhofen in the pits.
It's just one of those chain reaction things, especially when you're going that fast. These cars don't, so you can't really stop them on a dime. And if somebody has a good run like that, that's one of them racing deals where Lepresto thought he could get to the inside, and he was there, but he wasn't there enough to where Peyton didn't really close the door on him too much. But racing deal. One of those racing deals.
Yeah, and it happens so quick. Eldora, I think, on the sim is one of the hardest tracks to actually miss a crash, because you can never tell if that car is going to spin and stay right where it is, or if it's going to go down the track, up the track. It just, for whatever reason, Eldora is just so hard to miss those crashes, and that speed definitely plays a part in it. We're going green this time. White flag lap 50 now. Blake Cannon looking to the inside here. Ooh, another car in the wall. Lepresto is in the pits. Not sure who that was. That's Chance Crum trying to get turned around. We are still green so far.
And Peyton's starting to make the bottom work here. The bottom's starting to come in as the top wears away. Running the grip strip through the middle and running the bottom down in 3 and 4. So making it work right.
you can see these guys, you can see how dangerous that top side is. I mean, the rewards are great, but the risk is great as well. If you put one wheel wrong, all of a sudden, you're one of those guys that's flipping out of this race, and you're out of contention. Problems for J.D. Brown, who's going to spin in front of Peyton Grease. Both of these guys seem like they continue on. Grease, the big loser in that, and you can see the front end of that car missing some pretty important pieces. But we are still green. Blake Cannon now upside down. Try to get a look at what happened to him. This is the replay. Into the fence and around, and that is going to bring out the caution. Going to be it for Blake Cannon. Both of those Swindell Speed Lab drivers now out of the race. Got a wild start here to the evening in DOB competition. But the one guy that really likes it, Billy, is Hayden Cardwell, who's been out in front for the entirety of this feature.
Yeah, and that's why these races are sometimes tough. They get, you know, sometimes it depends if he's got his mirror on or not, but sometimes it's hard to be the leader in these situations because you don't know if you should stay on the top. You don't know if the guy's coming on the bottom. The track's just changing so awful much. It makes it for an exciting finish.
We were watching the middle of the field there for the action, but it looked like Smolders was starting to back up to the third and fourth place drivers there. Cardwell still out front pretty good. That might, I'm not sure what's going on here. Hayden had to make a stop there, make an adjustment to his rig or something.
Yeah, and it looks like lap 53 will be our final, or be the white flag lap.
Lap 53 now is the lap that we are looking at. We're going to restart here on lap 39. Hayden Cardwell out front, Alex Smolders in second, Cole Harvey third, and Tyler Chalk in fourth. Green flag. Look at Smolders now trying to make that move. He knows this is the best opportunity he has before Cardwell has a chance to get out front and run away with it. Battle for third is on between Harvey and Chalk. Looks like Lepresto in the 57 is starting to make his way into that battle as well. He's the one running up front, or up top, sorry. Keeping that momentum up. There you can see Smolders working that slider line through 1 and 2. Lepresto now to the outside of Chalk down the backstretch. Cardwell. I want to say he's extending that gap there out front, but he's definitely holding it. Oh, problems for the 32 who is around on the bottom of the track. Seems like he got a little loose and nosed it into the inside wall. And that is going to bring out the caution.
Things are starting to get a little chippy in the back of the field there, trying to secure their a top 5 spot. I mean, look at Dustin Griffiths. We talked earlier about just the misfortune that he's had in this feature so far, and he's up to 5th.
It's been a wild evening, that's for sure. And we're getting down to the nitty-gritty too. These guys are going to start getting more aggressive. You know, I mean, we've only got about 11 cars left on track, so I mean, everybody feels like they got a shot to win this thing. So they're going to take a shot at it. Kay Gunny, thank you for the follow and the cheer, my friend. Appreciate that. Last Waffle, Jamie Stewart, Rim Rider Eiler, J.R. Lowe, Sneaky Giraffe, T. Gorell, I. Artie, Rex 31. Appreciate all those follows as well. We are in night 2 of DOB competition here. Elbows Up TV on Twitch, the new home of the Dirty Old Bastards Racing Leagues. Wicked Energy Gum Midget Series on right now. We're going to go to the Palkins Custom Tailgate Games 360 Wingless Sprint Car Series after this race. If you're unfamiliar with the DOB, these are the best in iRacing right here. The dirt drivers here are the ones that race on the pro level. And Hayden Cardwell trying to make sure he's the one that comes out on top tonight. Smolders had a good start last time. Looks like Cardwell's going to be able to pull a gap there down the backstretch, but he is staying fairly close. Third place, Harvey. Now in fourth, Anthony Lepresto still working that high side behind him. Let's give a shout out here to old Dustin Griffiths. He has been turned around on the front stretch twice in this race, and he has worked his way back into the top 5. That might not earn him the hard charger, but he's got a little bit of hard luck and still charging through the field as well.
And Chance Crum coming back through the field again after early misfortune. So that's the thing about the midgets. If you have a good car, you can definitely make up ground.
This track is changing as well. You're starting to see these guys who like that slick track. They are utilizing their talents to make their way forward. White flag will come out on lap 56, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting down to the end of this race. 35 laps the distance. Caution flag laps did not count in this competition. That's why you're seeing lap 50 worked right now. Out front, Hayden Cardwell doing what he needs to do to bring home a feature win in race number 1 here. You always want to start the season off well, and there's no better way than finding yourself in Eldora victory lane. Five laps left in this race. Everybody's spread out now. Cole Harvey in third. Fourth place, Anthony Lepresto. Mason Hannigan looking to put a slider on Crum, unable to make it stick there. Peyton Grease still trying to make his way back forward after that contact. Now to the bottom of the track goes Hayden Cardwell. He's looking. He's trying to find that ideal line to keep that gap that he's got on second place. It'd take a big mistake, but it only takes one mistake to put yourself in trouble. 2 laps to go for Hayden Cardwell. 8 corners, and he's going to put one in the bank here early on in the DOB racing season. Looking at the white flag this time, Hayden Cardwell. One more revolution. Alex Smolders can't do anything but to stare out the front of his car and watch as Cardwell makes the gap. Here he comes through 3 and 4. Hayden Cardwell, driver of the 019, going to take the checkered flag in DOB Wicked Energy Gum Midget Series competition. Alex Smolder is going to bring it home in second. Cole Harvey in third. Looks like fourth place going to go to Chance Crum. And Mason Hannigan rounding out your top 5 there in the 022. Top 3 going to make another revolution around the track and stop on the front stretch. We ought to be able to get them into Discord here in just a minute. Get a chance to talk with them.
Well, AJ, that was a pretty good evening so far. I'm going to I think I'm gonna go fire up my stream and hop in a 360 non-wing car and see if we can make the show in that.
Well, it's fun having you here, Billy. We wish you good luck going into competition with the wingless 360 sprints, which we are about to start here in just a few moments. Hayden Cardwell, Alex Smolders, and Cole Harvey stopping on the front stretch. That's your top 3 for tonight in the midget competition. We just made the switch to Discord in the DOB, so we got to make sure that everybody is signed up in the Discord so that we can get the interviews. I hate it that we missed the interview last night with Mr. Stanky. Wanted to get a chance to talk to him, who took the win in race number 1 as the defending champion in the 360 Wing Sprint Car League. So we'll see who comes into the broadcast booth here to talk with us.
While we're waiting on them, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody out there that's watching this live, and we'll watch it on YouTube later. It's been fun. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's something new. We're just still got a little few growing pains, but I think it's gonna be pretty awesome here later on. So, thank you guys all for coming, and I will see you guys next time. But stay tuned for AJ to get his Mexican lucha libre announcing going on in the non-wing ring. We'll see if we can put on a show for him. You guys have a good night.
Good luck. We'll get a chance to see Billy in competition here coming up shortly. There, we got a guy join us in the broadcast booth, and wouldn't you know it, it is the man of the hour, Hayden Cardwell, your winner in DOB Wicked Energy Gum Midget Series competition here at Eldora. Hayden, it looked easy for you out there, but I know it wasn't quite that simple. You were able to get on the pole and parlay that into leading every single lap of this race. How does it feel?
Oh yeah, it feels good. Like you said, it wasn't easy at all. Felt good there on the top 1 and 2, but it ended up getting so rough. It was definitely hard to just ride that lip all the way around, and felt comfortable on that slider line in 3 and 4. And just able to roll to a win.
It seemed like that car was working pretty good for you anywhere you put it. We saw you searching around there, trying to find the ideal line. Smolders got a little close to you on a restart there. Were you starting to feel the heat and just making sure that you were doing everything that you could do to keep that gap?
Oh yeah, for sure. I know Alex. He's a tough guy, and anything that he runs in, we can go to sprints or anything. For me, it's my first win with DOB, and it feels good to beat against Alex, knowing he was in Sprint Car Pro, and he was definitely putting the pressure on me.
Well, this is the race number 1 of a shortened season. I think only 7 weeks here in midget competition this season. So are we going to be seeing you every single week trying to take home that DOB points championship?
You will.
Well, we wish you good luck going forward. There's no better way to start it than right here in Victory Lane. Congratulations, Hayden Cardwell. Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
So let's talk to Alex Smolders here, the guy who finished in the 2nd position. Alex, you had a good car out there. Everything went fairly smoothly, but just unable to get that next spot there on the podium. But how happy are you here with 2nd?
I'm happy with 2nd. I mean, Hayden ran a really good race. I just made the wrong adjustment before the end, just too loose in the corners to get anything down the straightaways for him. And he ran a good race. He's good in everything you put him in. He's good in late models. He's getting pretty good in sprints, and he's doing really good in these midgets here. But yeah, it was a fun race all over.
So we hear you talking about making adjustments throughout the race. In these DOB competitions, the tracks really get pretty slick there towards the end. How much were you working the throttle, and were you playing with shocks and everything, just trying to navigate your way around this track?
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of both. I mean, I got no clue what I'm doing with these midget cars, so I'm just kind of trying stuff on restarts, changing it right before we go green and the cautions were helping me, because there was a couple times there where I'd change something and go into the first turn and almost spin out. I mean, Cole Harvey got me there one time because of it, and I'm sorry about that kind of piss poor slider I threw on you, Cole, there, but yeah.
Well, it was fun watching you out there. 2nd place tonight, still a good finish, and even though we know you'd like to be up there on the top spot, we're sure you're going to be up there competing for more wins here throughout the season. So congratulations, Alex.
Thank you.
3rd place, Cole Harvey joining us as well. Cole, you heard a little bit of an apology from Alex there. Had some hot and heavy racing out there for a little while, but 3rd place spot, feel pretty happy with it?
Oh yeah, definitely happy with a top 3 finish over here with Dirty Old Bastards. You know, it's always tough competition with these guys.
So we saw this track changing a lot, and the top, although where it seemed to start the race as the place to be, it got pretty treacherous and bit a lot of guys out there. What were you thinking as you were trying to move around and make sure that you were able to make the finish of this race?
Well, I knew with the top burning off the way it was, and I started seeing some people, you know, starting to struggle up there a little bit, that the bottom was going to work in. So I made adjustments before the feature, hoping the bottom would come in, and it seemed to work out pretty good. And, you know, I couldn't run down the top 2, but they're both fast guys, and definitely good to run up here in the top 3 with running the bottom of this track.
Yeah, it's definitely tough competition, and you know, at a place like Eldora, you know, first race of the season, it could be a little bit worse than sitting on the podium. Is this one of the tracks that you like on here, or you got some coming up that you think you're going to have a little better chances with?
I'm hoping for some better chances with some other tracks. Eldora's typically one of my worst tracks.
Well, I gotta say, if this is one of your worst tracks and you come home third, then we're gonna be looking forward to seeing you do some more stuff here in DOB Wicked Energy Jump Midget competition throughout the season. Congratulations on the podium here tonight, and good luck going forward, my friend.
Thank you.
There you have it, your top 3 here from Eldora. Race number 1 of the DOB season. We talked about it being a short season. Got some holidays in there. I'm sure some other things going on as well. So we should see probably 7 weeks of racing action. And it's very important for these guys to get those good finishes early on if they want to be running for that championship.